What's the deal? It's your boy Uncle Ticket.
And AB in the building, the replacement
What
for
up? What
Marco.
up?
I'll try to
What
live up
up?
to you, Marco. I'll try to live up to your standards that you set. It's going to be hard, though. It's going to be hard.
Bot. What up, though, Bot?
What up,
We
bot
had
man?
we
Hey,
fired it up.
much love to you, bot man. I can't thank you
Man,
enough for trying to help me out lately. A lot of love to you, brother. A lot of love.
serious business. And anybody who end up watching these feeds, Bot is the brains behind it. He got the plays. This man does his due diligence. He that dude. For real, for real.
So
go ahead and talk to him, AB. I'm about to put some shit in my cup real quick.
All right. So I guess the first news I should come out with is that I sold some of my AMC stock finally. Not all of it, just a little bit, because I needed the money. So I made some moves and sold it, and I put into, let's see, what did I put into? I put into TRIL, Trillium Therapeutic, TRIL, which was just bought by Pfizer. So it saw a huge jump today. Unfortunately, I got a little bit high, but I think it's going to keep going up all week because it's at 17.59 right now. It was at 6 something before the pre-market opened, but the news came quick, so like it jumped super quick. Now I don't know if it's going to be a merger, but Pfizer is at about $50 a share last time I saw, and they just got the mandated. They got the FDA approval of their vaccine. So Pfizer and TRIL, I think, are both good plays right now. I also did support, which is the one that bought actually turned me on to. I made a little bit of money off of that today. Then GRNQ Capital, sorry, I can't read, Green Pro Capital, I think it is. And that was another one that was sent to me by, I believe, bot, where I ended up breaking even because I got in at 102. But this, I think this week is going to be good for these stocks. And then I went chasing. I saw the second highest gainer on the pre-market, which was Plus Therapeutics. And I jumped into that, which was a mistake because it was way up and then it went way down. It's been down 1.55, but I didn't put that much money into it.
I'm going to put it up.
Oh, the Plus Therapeutics. I just went through. I just announced that like I sold some shares of my AMC. And I told people what I put it into. So let's go to the TRIL one first, though, the TRIL.
Right here, right?
Because yeah. And if you get a chance, bring up Pfizer too in a second. Okay. And because this is the thing about TRIL is they had an agreement today. It came out in the pre-market. It was up 190 something percent, but it ended up 188 today when I got into it. When I got into it, was like 190, so I lost a little. I think I lost a little bit. Yeah, because I got in at 1811. But the good thing is that Pfizer has bought them out, from what I understand. Now I don't know if this is going to be a merger or they're going to keep the stock on itself. But if either way, Pfizer is valued at $50 some odd right now, and they just got the vaccine approved, FDA approved. So they're going to make some bank off of this eventually. Now, the thing, I don't think the stock went up because the vaccine is free right now. Yeah, yes.
So they're about to helping cancer this place?
What's that?
So they mess with cancer, like they try to cure cancer or something? Cancer deal.
Yeah. And
cancer, this motherfucker might go, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, you know, especially where they got the backing now. So I think these are good plays for this week for the most part. I think TRIL is a good play. I think Pfizer. I think the longer it goes on,
so I'm pretty sure Pfizer went down probably because they bought them, right? Because they did a deal, or did it not? Because sometimes that happens.
It went up a little bit. I think it went up a little bit, but not much. Because they also had the news of the vaccine getting FDA approved.
Yeah.
So there was two things. So usually you're right. There is a dip when somebody buys somebody, but in this case, I think it prevented that dip, and I think that's also why it didn't take off today for the FDA mandate, the approval. So I think everything would kind of work out.
What's Pfizer's ticker? Do you know?
Shit. Just type in Pfizer. You should find it. Let me see. Let me see if I have it. I thought I had it in a list here. Let me see.
My dumb ass ain't spelling Pfizer. How the fuck you spell that shit?
I got you. 1 second.
P something.
PFIZR. Yeah, it's PFIZR on the let me see.
Okay, PFE, right?
PFE. Yeah, so it's at 49.93.
I'm putting it up right now.
2.48% in the regular market. It went up a little bit more to 50.14 in the late market. So it didn't take the normal bump that I guess the company usually does when it's buying another company. So,
and so you saying, oops, no, this one.
Now this is one that Bot turned us on to last week that we said.
Yeah,
he said
it canceled play. No, not this one. This one, Trill was one. No, Trill was one. This was one.
No, Trill was one I found this morning. I happened to be up because of whatever, and
that's why I went.
Yeah, so I came across it while I was screwing around in the morning, and I clicked on it because it was saying like 198% up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I saw when I clicked on it, that Pfizer bought it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy that because that's gonna be, I would hope just keep going up this whole week. It might have taken its biggest jump already, but I don't think it's gonna go. Yeah, it might have taken its biggest jump already, but it might not have either. And I think even if it doesn't, it will still go up all week. I think it'll at least 10% more this week. I would think, but.
So then you gonna stick and move. So once it a little bit, you gonna jump out and then go to something else, huh?
Kind of. Yeah. Right now, I mean, I'm gonna hold AMC for a little bit long because that's been going up too. So it's not like it's hurting me to hold AMC right now either. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna start making some different plays, but this stuff I bought for this week was just for this week. For the most part, I'm gonna cash out at the end of the week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it depends.
So you're trying to flip you a couple of dollars real quick. If everything go right, you're gonna try to turn you a couple of dollars over and then just start, getting your little situation straight like that. Which ain't bad at all for traders. You know what I'm saying? Not bad at all. Bot, what's up? Talk to us.
I know, Bot. You're awful quiet tonight, brother. Awful quiet.
If you in here.
Yeah. By the way, pull up the other one. They SPRT. Let's talk about that. Because that Bot was right on that. Been right on that so far. He's not 100% right yet because that hasn't made up $15, but it's on the way.
He said it was going to double up. That was when he said it would go from 8 to 16. Yeah. But hey, this is a hell of a start though, huh?
Yeah. No, it's getting there. It's getting there. It went down a little bit in the post market, but I think it'll go up all week again. It seems to be on an uptrend. If you look at that chart, it's a constant uptrend. So
yeah.
But I don't put too much stock into charts too much just because I know there's different ways to read them and see what's going on, but it can take a different turn at any time. You know what I mean? Like all that.
That's true.
It depends on what kind of news comes out on it and stuff like that. But $15 by the end of the week, that'll make me happy.
So you got you some of this too?
Yeah, I got let me see. I didn't get like I said, I only spent a couple $100 on each.
He said LOL. Oh, he on Madden. Yeah, I got that Madden the other day too.
Oh, you guys got the new Madden?
Yeah, they have a merger coming.
Oh yeah.
Oh, word.
Who's your who you got, Bot? Who's your team? Who's your team, Ticket? Who you got? Cleveland or
Cleveland Browns? But I really ain't got. I be playing with everybody though, for real.
Yeah,
like I only played a couple times. I played like about 2 or 3 times. I've been online. I played with the Cardinals. I played with who the fuck did I play today? I played with San Francisco today. I only played twice so far.
Yeah, I haven't got the new one yet. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't play as much as I used to on the Madden because.
He said he playing last year's. Oh, I got the. What you playing on, Bob?
Miami. Oh, Bot. I liked you so much until you said Miami, brother. Oh. All right.
But you a Patriots fan because you from over there that way?
Well, I actually kind of grew up a Raiders fan because when I was young, the Patriots suck. And Jeff Hostetler was the quarterback for the Raiders when I became a fan because he broke a finger on his throwing hand and went back in and won the game. And I was like, that's my dude. I like tough. If you're tough.
That's hard. Hell yeah.
And then they had Tim Brown, and then it went into the Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and Rich Gannon era and Charlie Garner and Tyrone. I used to love Tyrone Wheatley. I know, I like the underappreciated guys, the workhorses. So, you had all these other guys getting all this pub around, but Tyrone Wheatley was a banger, man. He was run. I like those guys that just run up the middle. I know it's like 2 or 3, like Mike Allstott back in the day, but I became a Patriots fan because of the hometown love. And Brady. I mean, I became a Brady fan. I won't lie. And then I don't know. I just kind of follow. I'm more about players than I am about teams, I guess. at this point because like I used to hate Peyton Manning. I'm not a huge Dan Marino fan either. So it
Tom
just
Brady
depends
to
on the
go.
play. Yeah. Are you gonna get on there with him?
No, I was just showing him. I know that's the
Yeah.
22. That's the
new one.
that's the Mac 22. Yeah.
Have you played it yet or no?
I played it like twice. It ain't bad. It's cool.
Is it the same old shit, just different rosters, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, back in the day, I had a friend that used to play fighting games, and you used to talk about not having a team. Really, it's like we used to always do random because we thought it was weak if you just got one character and was really good at it. That means you couldn't really play the game. You know what I mean? Like we used to sit there for hours, whether it was Fight Night, whether it was Dead or Alive, Tekken. I'm trying to think of what else we used to. Marvel vs. Capcom. We used to sit there for hours and smoke out and just random the whole time. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And so basically, what advice you got for new traders, bot and AB, like people who looking to get in the market, or just who get in the market who might watch this video later, or something like that? Like, what kind of advice you got for a trader?
Well, I mean, being kind of a new trader myself, I would say you're going to take your lumps in the beginning most of the time, unless you're extremely lucky and extremely well researched. You're gonna have your growing pains. So don't invest what you can't afford to invest. Like, and it changes. Like what I could invest last year, I can't this year. So money changes. So got to be realistic about your situation too. So my first thing is make sure you only put what you afford in the market. It's gambling in the end, really. All the statistics, everything that's thrown out, it really doesn't. You know, it comes down to a crapshoot in the end because there are some. Yeah, learn before you never follow age.
That boy bought a fool. But go ahead, AB.
Thing. And the other thing is do your research. You know, do your own research, and it doesn't mean like, look, I'm just as guilty as getting on Twitter and whatever is following, but like, you can't just read one post and say that's it. You got to look a little bit deeper. So once you find something somebody says, you know, whatever,
it
about
can lead you in the right direction, then you go start finding shit out for yourself that somebody may have told you about. You just can't rest on their word, pretty much what you're saying. You got to go do your own due diligence and figure this shit out for yourself because it's your money that you're putting up. So you definitely want to be careful.
Yeah, and not everything is a fucking short squeeze, guys. Not everything is a fucking short squeeze. Sometimes there's just good investments. Now,
exactly.
You know, like with the TRIL, maybe that was being shorted, maybe, but it's not necessarily a short squeeze that's happening. It's Pfizer bottom. That's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? Like this idea that only short squeezes make money on the market is a little overblown.
So you think that's what they got them people thinking, that the short squeeze is the only play in the market? That's what people believe.
That's what I've seen, because every time I go into a stock and do some research and look at the comments on it, and Webull at least, there's always somebody going, shorts are going to pay and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, not everything is fucking shorted. You know, like, I'm sure there's a lot that's shorted, but it's just not everything is a short play. Sometimes it's a long play. And like with AMC, like, hey, they shut down visiting at the nursing home again with COVID lockdown because of Delta variant. So you have to really keep your eye on what's going on, not just in the business world, but in the real world too, because that's going to have effect on whatever stock you're putting into. And that's why I say in the future, really what I want to invest in is water, weed, technological advancement companies, you know, smaller ones that are starting up that have a chance to get bought out by some of the bigger ones. And I forget what the other thing was, but I know but I mean, like, any natural resources, you know, like, I know everybody thinks oil's dead, but oil's not dead. It's actually probably going to go up more because of what's going on in Afghanistan and all that shit. So the gas prices will go up.
So basically, you think people think of oil gone because they talking that green shit, everything going green, huh?
Yeah, but we're a long way away from that. We're a long way away from that. I mean, we're talking about, we're just starting that. It's going to take decades for it to like really take into effect, if we even have that fucking long, depending on what's, you know, but, and it's not like they're great for the environment from the way they get the batteries and everything either. So it's going to be a 50-50 split at some point. Like, it has to. I don't know how much of the market is electric cars right now, but I'm going to guess it's under 10%.
Yeah, I don't think it's real heavy
Yeah,
at this point.
I would imagine to say it's under 5%.
But
So
you know
how long?
what? Did you see the GM saying they want all their cars electric by like 2030 or some shit? They only gonna be making 2030 or 2035.
What are they going to do
But
with those? Are they going to force people to buy those cars?
oh
Or are
hell
they going to?
no, hell no. That's what
I'm
I was
saying.
saying. Even when they start doing that, it's gonna be a transition to everybody going from
Yeah.
gas to electric. I say that's
It's
like
not.
a 10-year transition, if you ask me. Go ahead.
That's like a 3-decade transition, though.
You
You know what I'm
think?
saying? Like, yeah, dude. Like, look, you think the oil companies are going to go down without a fight?
You
You know
got
what I
that
mean? Like,
right too.
you think they're just going to start shutting gas stations down and stop serving gas to people? And if it's cheaper to get a gas car, then you know what I mean? Like, they have to make electric so stupid cheap.
I'm thinking they're gonna have to start giving like some kind of, some kind of vouchers or something. You trade your gas car in. It's gonna be some kind, if they trying to push everybody to go that way.
Americans are stubborn. How many people are going to really do that? You're going to have a bunch of rednecks in the country. They're like, I ain't giving up my gas, still my diesel. Like, it's just going to be that shit. It's going to be another thing everybody's going to fight over for 3 or 4 decades before we figure it out. And that may be true. That could be true. Like, they may be planning that. That's great that they're planning that, but they have to have the market to be able to do it. And General Motors is only one company out there,
He said, yeah, look at the companies that work with the government. We're going to end up fighting
yes.
As
much as I hate to say it, if this is about making money, invest in bomb companies because they're getting ready to take off. You understand what I'm saying? Like
they will have a supercharger. Yeah. I kind of figured that they're going to have to do that because just imagine. Because you know what I was thinking, like, just imagine when people start going electric. Say if you're taking a road trip and you want to recharge your car, because if you go on 10 hours or some shit, your charge might only last 3-4 hours. So don't nobody want to be sitting there for no fucking hour trying to charge their car. So it's gonna have to be something that's charging super fast.
Well, not only that, like California has fucking rolling blackouts all the time. So what are you going to do when your car runs out of juice and there's a blackout going on? You're just going to be stuck.
So in California, they be having blackouts where everybody lose their electricity?
Yeah, they do rolling blackouts all the time. This has been going on for a while.
You said it's called who?
Rolling blackouts. Like they'll so like with the wildfires and stuff were happening, they would conserve electricity and do rolling blackouts. And that means they would shut down electricity for a couple hours in one area and then to another and then to another, and they would keep
for real.
Like that. Yeah, like this was all over the news. Like this has happened. This is not like it's been happening the last couple of years, but it's not like it's something foreign to California. This has happened for decades in California. And look at what happened with the Texas power grid last year, the way it went down. What you gonna do if all the power grids goes down like it did in Texas when they had that winter storm down there?
Damn, I never thought about that. So
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people going to look at that and go, why would I buy a fucking electric car when I have gas car that doesn't need electricity? So
he said, look at what Newsom. I said, who is Newsom?
Gavin Newsom. He's a governor in California, I think. I think he's a governor in California. I didn't see what he did.
What does he want to do?
Yeah, I didn't see this.
You know what I'm thinking? Say if they had those power outage, is this some way they can have generators or some shit like that?
But generators are expensive. How many people are going to be able to afford generators?
No, I'm saying if it's going to be things that charge your shit up, pull up the news. Just put his name on Google or some shit. But
let me see. I got to see now.
You said his name is Gavin Newsom or something?
Yeah, Gavin Newsom. He's a special one. I don't know how some of these people get elected into Congress, but
it says
I'm looking up, see what he said.
Which one I'm supposed to pull up? They say he in trouble.
I don't know. I can't. I'm on Google. I'd have to get on. Let me get on Twitter and see what people are saying.
I'm on here now.
Yeah, the thing about Twitter that's great is you can keep up with news really well, but you get everybody's fucking opinion in it, which is sometimes terrible. But if you just want to get information, Twitter is a great tool if you use it the right way. And like I'm one to talk because I talk shit on there too.
He said the power plant shit.
Well, they're trying to recall him.
So is that what this is?
Yeah, they're doing a vote recall. I know.
Hold on, no,
That's been going on.
He said power plant.
Let me see. Power plant.
So is that this? Is this the right shit, bot? Let me know what he say, because I can't see the chat when I be on that shit.
Oh, he said pull up the news, but that's all.
So I just asked him, was this right? I can't see what he's saying, if this is right or not.
There's something about him protecting PG&E after the company caused deadly fires, which I think is one of the electrical companies in California.
It said wildfires and declining water levels. Can't you see what I got up on the screen?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at my phone. Wildfire. Oh, bring it back.
He said he got to find the name.
Reservoirs of wildfires and declining water levels at reservoirs have threatened California's power supply at various points this summer. Desperate to avoid blackouts amid corrupting the compounding crisis, Governor Gavin Newsom is eyeing the construction of 5 temporary gas-fueled plants in the coming months. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even with electricity, you need gas still. So, emergency gas generators for up to 5 years. Yeah, so gas ain't going nowhere. That's what I'm saying. They even need gas to run electricity. And what runs a generator most of the time is gas too, right? It doesn't just run off thin air.
You definitely got to put gas into a generator.
Unless we come up with some other like vegetable oil, which you know what I never understood is I've seen cars like in the 80s and 90s where people were doing science experiments and they had these cars running off vegetable oil and shit. Why haven't we ever switched to that? You know, like you could still make a gas station out of vegetable oil gas. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's just too hard to produce. I don't know, but
so you believe we could really be running our shit off something totally different than gas? Pretty much what you're saying, and I believe that too. You can make something run off some other shit other than gas. I would believe.
But it's a long way ahead. I mean, electricity, like I said, uses gas too a lot of the time. These generators and everything. So it's not like gas is just going to go away. We'd have to come up with an alternative to gas to make everything run the same way gas does without having gas. That's the only, that's the only thing in the future that'll, if they want to get away from gas, really, which I don't think anybody really does, So, I mean, not that activists and climate change and blah, 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 they don't all
so
want to
it sounds like they talking about generators. Basically, this shit I just said, right? It said, according to Bloomberg, California Energy Commission approved license for the emergency gas generators on Tuesday for up to 5 years, which reportedly has individual capacity to generate 30 megawatts of energy. Spokesperson California Department of Water said now that the agency has been given a green light, it will immediately begin to work on procuring the units, which will be installed at existing power plants. So they saying something about putting generators at these gas plants, right? Or some kind of plants.
Putting gas generators at electrical power plants. Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Canada home utilities of construction region climate change, including extreme heat, drought, raging wildfire.
Less than a month after declared a state of emergency in California over the power grid's limitations, which he pledged not only to expedite construction on existing clean energy projects while also suspending certain permitting requirements to allow greater energy production. Although Newsom has repeatedly said that he supports a managed decline of fossil fuel production in the state over the coming years, the government has approved more than 9,000 new oil and gas. That's gas permits.
So basically, it's called a hypocrite, right?
Yeah, no, that's the other thing too. Is all these people that want to say they get off oil. This has been going on for years, where they say, yeah, that's exactly, bot, exactly. That's to get the activist vote, because if they really wanted to switch away from oil,
we had cars to rent. Did we?
I believe it. There was all sorts of shit. Yep, I believe it. I believe it.
I think my mechanic was telling me that like they buried some cars, like they had some shit. I sometimes be thinking
wasn't that in Germany? Wasn't that in Germany? I think that was in Germany where that guy.
Because my mechanic was telling me like somebody had made some kind of car and then one of them big producers bought it and did some crap. I don't know, some shit.
Yeah.
He said they had to take
and what I don't get about it, and
Tesla has shit,
and so did so the Nazis. What I don't get about it is if these companies were smart, they would have a whole new market of stuff that they could just start. You know, say an oil company started switching investing in. Yeah, he's getting kicked out. Yeah, he's getting
done this.
Maybe. I don't know much about Larry Elder. I've heard the name a couple times.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, we had this conversation kind of before. Oh,
so we kind of talked about this. I smoke so much bud. You smoke back and I smoke, man. Sometimes I be forgetting, man.
Yeah, and I got a lot going on. So, oh, okay. Yeah, I think we remember talking about this now.
No.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I was watching you guys' program or I was on it, but I remember this coming out before a little bit.
So basically, they kill him because they want the oil business to keep on going, obviously, right?
Yeah, because they're lazy. They're lazy because they're just taking their profits. Now, if the oil companies really wanted to make a lot of money, they would start buying the stuff for the future to switch to.
Exactly.
They're the ones that got the fucking money. They're the ones that got the fucking money to do it, right? So
they could be the leaders of the water car or whatever and benefit off of whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I don't get why it's just laziness. It's not even greediness. It's you can pump up the price, but if you were really greedy, you'd be trying to make new shit all the time for people to buy. But instead, we just recycle the same old shit all the time, and it's just. That's why everything becomes stagnant,
So want to go down the rabbit hole.
Oh, I can't handle going down the rabbit hole right now, brother. Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll get back to that. But I need some positivity in my life right now. I can't go down the rabbit hole. I'm already having a rough time of it. So
the traders is trying to make money and get to the money. What tickers they need to be looking at? Give us your hot ones, but for a trader who looking to go ahead and get to the paper, and tell them why. Once you tell them these tickers, and tell them your opinion on why. A little brief thing on why you believe in the tickers that you tell.
He already gave us Spirit, so that's doing what he basically said. So I was on track to do what he said.
Okay, well go and tell him again. Why you believe in him? He already told us that the merger. That's when he said got the merger coming.
I think so. Yeah.
He said somebody had a merger coming.
Yeah. He put me on one. This Green Pro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This right here. We about to pull that up. And when he told me that one, it hadn't even ran yet. By the motherfucker. He said he only play a few calls. That's what's up. He don't stretch himself.
Yeah. No, that's the way. Hey, I want to keep when I invest. I want to keep it to 5 to 10 stocks, so it's not too much for me to keep a track of either. You know what I mean? That's and
So tell him why this the leg bot because when you told me about this was still 70-some cent, and that motherfucker took off.
I'm clicking on an article saying why it's taking off too to see because honestly I've been so caught up on stuff. I just been taking bots' advice and then I took it. Hey, it's okay to take a calculated risk sometimes and then not pay out either, Spirit is your number one play short term. Yeah, I can see why.
He said they have a merger coming up and it's still, and the SI is still, the short interest is still mid 60% with Reddit behind it. Oh, Reddit behind this?
No, really?
Satellite contract.
Is that's Spirit, right?
That's
so
this,
Green
right?
Pro Capital. Now there's one. Bring up GRNQ.
This right here, right?
Yes. So I'm going to read off what they have in the news and why it's going up like it is. Green Pro Capital Corp shares are trading higher after the company announced its Angkasca X. I don't know what the fuck that is. Signed a memorandum of understanding with Silkware Holdings to form a joint venture partnership to develop a GEO-LEO integrated satellite network and services platform. Oh shit. So this is going to be something that I think where they're going to broadcast internet from space. I think the partnership is set to establish a space technology ecosystem in Penang, Malaysia, and to nurture the state into a supply chain and distribution hub for global satellite technologies for the ASEN Market, said the company in its press release. GreenPro Capital Corp operates and provides business solution services to small and medium-sized businesses located in Southeast Asia, blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like they're investing in satellite technology. Yeah, satellite. Oh, that's, yep, that's what Bot's saying, satellite contracts. So, okay, yeah, okay. Got you, yeah. So sport is just a short-term play where GreenQ is more of a long-term, I think.
Move up. I think, Bot, you said GreenQ, what you said, because I think you told me earlier this go to like $2 you thinking or something like that. So that's a double up if somebody got in right now.
Yeah. But that's something you want to sell off and get back into for down the line.
Yeah,
like, make a chunk, but then put like, say it gets up to like $2 or whatever. Well, that's still pretty cheap. If it gets up to $5, it's still pretty cheap. But like in 5 to 10 years, that thing might be in the motherfucker. That thing might be that might be, a couple $100 stock in a couple years,
You're right, like you said, take your profit and then it might pull back, then jump back in. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. Because when they go up, they definitely pull back to only go up higher than they did before.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Elon Musk is trying to provide internet free for the world at some point, right?
Is he?
He's had some project going on where he's trying to provide free internet.
For real? When you hear about that?
It's been in the works for a long time. It's something that's like one of his old pet projects. They're supposed to.
You know what? That's pretty solid. Because I pay $100 a month for internet, but my shit fast. But that's too much to be bad. I think that's too much. Man.
But I think there's certain cities they're trying to start it in the next year or so. So, if they need more satellites, if
he said shoots over 2,
yeah. I'm not.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, Starlink. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of. Starlink. Look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. But if
Starlink, what's that? That's about the free internet.
That's the Elon. That's the free internet shit.
I'm gonna pull that up.
But eventually, Elon Musk might want to buy satellites from people that already have setups up there for it. So
so basically, what you saying? If he's providing free internet, he gonna buy the whole service and just get his shit out, right? That's what he gonna do.
That's I think the plan is. But I think it'll be free at first, but I'm sure eventually they'll start charging people. Nothing's free forever.
It's not free though. It's more or less for the rural areas.
Okay, yeah.
So what? Basically, like people where it's hard to get the internet at and shit. Pretty much, that's what it's for.
So. Yeah. Yeah, but eventually that's gonna end up taking over the internet. The way like wireless is gonna be the wireless internet. Like it already is, but I mean, like if they get satellites up, or they can just broadcast internet and not have to hook a line into somebody's house and still charge you the same amount with less labor.
High speed, low latency, broadband internet. So what that means? It's gonna be faster with like less delay and shit. Because I think latency be like, I used to be like in the recording and shit, and latency be like the delay on shit. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure about that. All I know is I've had satellite internet before and it sucks, and this is supposed to make it better. That's all I know.
So what's satellite internet?
It's you hook up a dish like DirecTV, and just like I was in Texas and I lived out in the country, and they didn't have internet service to where we're at. They wouldn't run they wouldn't put the lines out there and everything. So we got internet, but it was so spotty. Like you couldn't watch a YouTube video on it for more than 10 seconds without it freezing and loading. Yeah, buffering. So satellite internet sucks, but eventually, I mean, like I said, eventually it's going to be all satellite internet at some point.
So you think so?
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't it be? Because what it does is they can charge you the same price, but they can cut out the labor of sending somebody to your house. They can send you a router, like through the mail.
So basically, how they doing it with like YouTube TV, like where you ain't gotta have nobody, you get your own device and they just sell you the service, and all the rest of the shit is on you. So basically, that's what everything is going to.
Yeah. But it'll be a control. But just like everything, it's like you have Apple, you have iPhone. There'll be a couple different companies, and you'll have to figure out which one you want to go with, sort of thing. But
so you still think the price ain't gonna go down when they start doing that because they ain't gotta pay people to come in? You still think they're gonna bust you the same price, huh?
Well, look at Tesla. Tesla doesn't really make money. Okay, let's put it this way. So Tesla and SpaceX, right? Tesla develops new technology, but how much money are they actually making off the things they sell? Because they sell some electric cars, but I don't think they sell enough to make a huge profit off it. And then with SpaceX, they get more money from the government than they do from people.
So it's
You know what I mean?
funding for SpaceX,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much what
funding,
you're
and
saying.
so it'll be funding. It'll be funding for the internet too. Some government will fund it, whether it be China or America. Whoever wants to be the capitalist class or the whatever. I mean, the internet is going to be the way they control everybody. If you haven't already seen, they're already trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's whatever government contract comes into it, and we'll see from there. But yeah, eventually, I think that's it's pretty new. It has time to grow. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's like this is good to dip in and out of right now, but in the long term, you want to have some in like 5 to 10 years, I think. And even if it's not
Yeah.
Green Pro, these are the type of when I talk about technology companies, these are the type of companies that I'm talking about that I want to invest in the future, because we're getting more advanced you play video games, right? You saw what video games were in the fucking I remember playing fucking Pong and Tank and shit like that, and now I'm
I
sitting there
started
playing.
on Atari.
Yeah, I started on Commodore. You know what I'm saying? Like
Commodore 64. I don't think I never played that one.
Yeah,
I played the Atari. That's what I
yeah,
first
I
started
played the
fucking with.
Atari too. I only played the Commodore a little bit, but I mean Atari, all that shit. I mean, look at how far it's come since then to
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I mean, I'm playing Fallout 4 and hundreds of hours of gameplay, somewhat realistic graphics, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, man.
Ghost of Tsushima, like Red Dead Redemption. You look at these games that are basically huge movies that you can play that never end. You know what I mean? Like
Grand Theft.
so I'm gonna look into virtual reality technology, because I know it's kind of bubbled up here and there and then shot back down, and recently it had a bubble up again, but eventually they're gonna figure that shit out too. You know what I mean? Like, and that'll be the next big thing.
They got that Oculus. I ain't never fucked with
Yeah.
that shit.
If they can figure out a way to do virtual reality without having to put a headset on, you know what I mean? That's how that'll work. You know what I mean? Like,
but how could you do it without one?
Well, like with holograms and shit like that eventually. Like you saw how they did the Tupac concert with the holograms and the Michael Jackson and shit like that, right? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Eventually, I think somehow movies will not maybe fully be VR, but some sort of combination between the both.
So you think the way we watch movies is going to be different here soon?
Yeah, especially with all the Marvel and comic movies and everything. There's so much stuff you could do with those.
Because the thing when they brought that 3D shit, I had even bought one of them TVs at the time, but I didn't even use that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that didn't really.
It gave me a head. I never used a 3D, but it gave people a headache a lot of the time too.
What does MMAT do? Which one? What you talking about, bud?
MMAT. That's one he put us on before too. I have to.
Yeah, I know that. What I'm saying, he said it does what?
Well, let's look it up. Bring it up on the ticker.
Yeah,
and then we can take a look at the profile and analysis. Usually they have some sort of profile.
They into all kind of shit. The 5G, 6G. We went over. I remember that, but
that was
I wonder.
Isn't that the company with the superconductors or whatever? The semiconductors. Yes,
yeah.
And that's the type of stuff you got to look into.
I like that a lot.
The only thing about getting into the technology thing is you're going to take your lumps, because there's some companies that have a great idea and you're going to think,
the holograms and the VR. He said in the virtual reality.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah,
I like MMAT. That bitch was down to like 282. That bitch it come down, but that bitch come right back up, boy. That motherfucker gonna be playing.
Yeah, it went up 16% today. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I seen when it was down like 290 last week or some shit, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh, it was 288 when it opened.
Yeah, these little companies too, like they're usually the ones that, so you might take your lumps and some might get bankrupted or whatever and go out of business, but the idea will get carried on by somebody else, or somebody will come in and buy these companies out, like a Tesla or an Apple or a Microsoft. You know what I mean? Like it happens all the time. So those are you can invest in like movie companies and game companies and all that. That's great. But I'm looking like at the actual hardware, the actual technology, because that's where the money's really at. As far as in the stock market, in the regular market, the video games and stuff like that have more of a market, but that's also spread out through, how many games are out there, how many game companies are out there. If you only have a certain amount of people making semiconductors and investing in this stuff, there's only a handful of companies that have the money to invest in this stuff to really make it happen. You know what I mean? So
this is another semiconductor, but it's more expensive. I remember that when this one was like $40 when I started looking at Micron. Yeah. That's another semiconductor play.
They're the type of company that come in and buy MMAT then, right? Yeah. Like that's what, so if that happens, what the stock will go up, or they'll merge into that stock. Now I'm not exactly sure how mergers work. I think if
He said, "Use go to MMA's website." But I can't stand no motherfucking Yahoo. But I don't fuck with that.
No, I haven't used Yahoo. I've used Google. It's just the easiest. I don't, as far as what I use it for and everything like that. Even though I tried Bing, I couldn't get into Bing. I don't know, but I just stick with Google. Yeah. So those are the type of companies and like I said, then water. Water is becoming a more scarce resource, so that's a good thing to invest in. And I have to look up to see what water companies there are out there.
A lot of people fucking with that alkaline water.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about like drinking water. Well, I guess I am, but like water companies that the companies that bring the water to your house. You understand what I'm saying? Like put the pipes in and all that shit. I don't know. I have to look up because I haven't really had a chance to really look who. It's the companies you never hear of unless you live in, like they'll say they're whatever water company in one area and then they'll be invested in another company in another area, something like that, So I have to do some research on the water because I think water in the next 5 years, water companies are going to be really expensive. And then weed, of course, weed's going to.
Oh, you already know that.
Getting more and more legalized.
It's going to be legal everywhere soon.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait a while because Biden ain't doing it. But that gives us some time to invest because I think the next president will make it legal. I think Trump was pretty close to making it legal.
So this MMAT shit right here. These motherfuckers.
Yeah, and that's the thing about when you get into these companies, you never know. Whoever thought Tesla was really going to end up being Tesla.
Glucose monitoring, so that's for like motherfuckers who got diabetes and shit. They fucking with that too.
Yeah, so they got their hands in a little bit of everything. Yeah, so that's a good solid company to get into right now. And they might take their losses for a while because development companies do that. But if they get something that takes off and everybody never will get bought out. Well, I'm just okay. So if it doesn't get bought out. Yeah, if there doesn't get bought out.
What you thinking about in a few years? That motherfucker could be damn near on Micron's level, right? $70 or maybe 100, maybe higher. What you thinking, Bob? I definitely see them doing something real nice. I'm definitely gonna give me a piece of that
nanotechnology. Yeah, nanotechnology is another gold mine. I don't know much about it, but I know it's new and I know it's very useful. So
I ain't really hip to it either.
Yeah,
look up their EV
applications.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I could see that. No, he's real. That's like
that boy said that motherfucker gonna dance.
Yeah.
So where do I find the EV applications in the technology or something?
Go to products. He said.
I don't see that right there.
Just click on products and see what they got for products. Or was
that's
that what
I just did?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
EV. I don't see where that would be. You got to read. You want to read the thing because I can't see what he's saying. He probably gonna tell me where to go.
He hasn't. I can't see the private chat on there, but what he's got on the screen it says 100 to 500. He hasn't. EMI. EMI shielding. I don't know.
He said go down the screen. It's to the left.
To the left.
Not right here.
Yeah, I don't see it.
And that's how I go to the home. Automotive, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not sure what he's saying. EV stands for.
EV, that's electric vehicles.
Oh, electric vehicles. Oh, okay, got you.
Is this it, Bot?
And like Solutions had it. Yeah, automotive. Okay, yeah, you got it. So de-icing, defogging. And like, look, I'm not saying electric cars won't be a thing in the future. I'm just saying it's going to take years to get there. You know what I mean? Like in 5 years, we'll be further along than we were now. In 10 years, we'll be a little bit further along. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not going to just take over. So you
saying this is a long process, you believe, which I believe so too. You said, but you thinking it's going to be how long to get them all the way out? You said 30 years?
I mean, 20 to 30 years before they're the dominant car, but it doesn't mean there's not money to be made because the more they're going to eat more and more into the gas. And
but you gotta think about it like this also. It's motherfuckers ain't gonna want to get rid of their old schools, like a Chevelle and shit like that.
that's why I'm
You
saying it's going
never
to take
gonna be
money.
able to cut gas out totally because it's certain old schools is valuable. Like even those Challengers. Nah, when them bitches get old, motherfucker not gonna want to let go of that shit, man.
It'll become the rich people's car. You understand what I'm saying? Like it'll become collector's items and that sort of thing.
He said, look at HUD and then defogging.
Automated hood. Oh wow, I really want one of these cars eventually. Honestly, I think they're cool as shit.
I do too.
You know, like, but I'm not technologically advanced enough. I still run a 2007. I love it, but I just don't have enough time to get into. Like, I don't have the money to buy half the shit that I'd like to buy. So it's like I don't bother getting in too deep into it because I know I can never afford it. So, yeah.
If anybody watching, this ticker that we looking up. This is MMAT.
MMAT.
This is the ticker. This is the ticker that we doing the research on.
All right, I'll just read it off here. The first rule of safe driving is to keep your eyes on the road, and yet the cockpit layout of a typical car requires that drivers draw their eyes away from the road to collect important information on speed, fuel state, navigation guidance, and environmental settings. This conflict between road and vehicle systems awareness increases the risk of driver distraction and decreases reaction time. In the aviation industry, this danger was recognized early and addressed by the introduction of the heads-up display, the HUD, which allowed for information to be displayed within the pilot's field of view. That same technology is now available for consumers for automotive applications. The key benefit of the HUD is that it communicates critical vehicle information to the driver, while at the same time allowing the driver to keep their eyes on the road ahead. At a psychological level, using HUD means that the driver's eyes do not have to, as a physiological level, using HUD means that the driver's eyes do not have to adjust to different brightness and focal plane conditions when switching their gaze from the road, bright and distant, to an instrument clutter, dark and near. Use of HUD improves the driver's reaction time to hazards because vision remains attentive to where the hazards occur. The road outside the car. A HUD improves situational awareness and offers what has come to be known as the eyes on the road benefit. At Meta, we fabricate holographic optical combiners that serve as the key component in the optical system that makes up a HUD. The combiner superimposes light from the projector system onto the light from the outside world. The combiner must fulfill the paradoxical requirements of being highly transparent to minimize impact on the light from the road, while at the same time being highly reflective to maximize the coupling efficiency of the projector. We achieve these requirements with a large area holographic gratings with carefully controlled spectral selectivity and diffraction efficiency. The gratings can be made active for one or more wavelengths of light, so full color displays are possible. Because the gratings diffract anonymously, the geometry of the optical path is not constrained by the angle of the windshield. And because they are thin and transparent, the combiners can be installed as aftermarket devices, factory installed discrete components, or integrated directly into the front windshield. So they're trying to make it so even, I think, gas-powered cars can run off that at some point, probably, right?
He said, so basically, it's like that shit is going to be, don't they kind of got it on cars now, like it's on your windshield, like where you can see? Is that what that shit is?
I haven't seen it, but I mean, like, I'm thinking they're thinking like Iron Man when he's in his fucking shit and you can see the like Iron Man when he's in his suit, he has a thing in front of him that shows him information while he's looking out his visor. You know,
he said de-icing, defogging. Now, what they got for this?
All right, so let's bring it down so I can read some. NanoWeb can act as a resistive heater to generate heat on windows or other clear surfaces in all kinds of weather conditions. NanoWeb's technology can act as resistive heater to generate heat on demand, quickly defogging an automobile windshield. It can also be embedded into glass or plastic and can be tailored to our customers' specific requirements. Many vehicles today either attempt to blow air or have a heat element lines that are visible on a glass surface for defrosting windows, especially on the rear window.
Hell
What makes
yeah.
what makes NanoWeb what makes NanoWeb is a completely clear and unobstructive heating solution that does not interfere with vision. Each wire is permanently fixed within a thin film and does not have any overlapping wires, making it flexible and durable enough to be bent, folded, or thermoformed without compromising its conductive integrity or transparency. Wow. So, yeah, that's some neat shit. But this is the thing, like, we were talking earlier. It's going to be a while. That's going to be really expensive in the beginning. It's going to be 10 years before that becomes affordable to the middle class person, let alone, the poor people. And like, you have to have, so this generation blow us.
So
Like,
this shit, it say benefits of it: fast and efficient melting and removal of ice, prevents ice buildup after removal. So down there, after it comes up, after you get the shit off there, it don't build up like that. That's dope. On demand, fast response can be integrated into products. Environmentally friendly, can be used on almost all glass or plastic surfaces. Transparent and can cover small. You already read that part. Can be applied from the front to the front windshield of the car, and there's no visible wires. So I wonder, how do they do that? You think it's gonna be expensive as fuck, huh?
Yeah, it's got to be at first. Everything that comes out technology-wise is expensive as fuck at first, and then it comes down. I mean, look at how much PlayStations were before. Like. Anyway, and TVs is another great example. Like every TV now is like, you can get a TV, a 30-inch for like $150 flat screen, and back in the day that used to be $5,000-$10,000. You know what I mean? Like, so. But the other thing that has to happen too is why I say 20-30 years to really switch to electric cars is because the generation before us was not really as technologically advanced as we are. We have more stuff now, like laptops and all the shit that they didn't really have back when my parents were growing up. So we've taken a step forward, right? Well, the generation below us, and that guys in their 20s and 30s, yeah, you have to go everything. Wow, yeah, and they got their hands on everything. So, and they're obviously making some stuff that's worthwhile. So it's a good investment. But like, so I think about in like 20 years when the people that are 20-year-old now, more technologically advanced, they use their phones, they use their cameras, they use everything a lot better than I do, and probably you do. You know what I mean? So when that generation becomes into their 40s and 50s, and they understand how these fucking things work, and then their kids. So that's why I'm saying it's going to take like a generation change to like really make electric cars the thing to be. And even then, you'll still have some people holding on to gas, and I don't think gas will ever go away. But I think at least in 20 years, it'll be a 50-50 split.
Maybe even more electric, but you will always have people who will have certain old schools they like that's not electric. So those are all, even younger motherfuckers will still like an old school this or old school that. He may also have an electric car for his everyday driver.
Yeah.
But you gonna have that classic old school you might pull out every now and then that you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna always be gas vehicles.
Yeah.
But at some point I believe more people, the more easier it gets to get into it. And when they figure out like the 10-minute charges and shit,
yeah,
about it, like you said, it's gonna take years for all this shit to really, and then for the price of everything to come down. So it is definitely gonna take a while. But at some point, I believe it will come to that. But like you said, oil ain't got to worry about nothing for quite some time.
A lot of times I worry about the future and the way the world is, and like, oh my God, we're all gonna fucking die or whatever, But then there are other times when I see stuff like this where I'm like, it gives me hope that we can advance to a place that society actually becomes better in the long run. You know what I mean? Like with all this innovation and shit. So we'll see.
Hell no.
Yeah, no.
Hell no, but you know what? If it was $100 a gallon, if my bag was right and I really liked the car, no, you right. $100 a gallon. Hell no. Cause think, if you got 15 gallons, hell no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it depends on what kind of money you're floating around. I mean, you got to.
But even to say if you got a big bag, say if you most tanks, because the tank on my car is like 16 gallons, that's $1,600 fucking dollars, man.
Yeah, but then every car becomes every gas vehicle becomes a 67 Chevy where you only take it around the block and like show off and try to get some pussy with it.
So a tank of gas might last you about 2, 3, 4 months for real because you're not really driving it like that. But damn, when you just got a pill 15, oh my God.
in 20 years, how much is
He might be
$100?
right. He might be
Yeah.
right.
And how much, like with inflation and everything, how much is $100 going to be really worth in 100, 10, 20 years? You know what I'm saying? Like it might
That's
not.
true too.
It sounds like
That's
a lot of
true
money
too.
right now, but like
$100 might be like $20 right now. That's
yeah, I
probably
mean
what
like
it's gonna be like.
yeah, I mean like $100 ain't really shit right
It
now.
ain't shit right now. Yeah, it's not shit right now.
So it's only
$1,000 ain't shit.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
for real,
You're
for real.
telling me. You're telling me right now. Yeah, $1,000 ain't shit.
Man.
$1,000 ain't shit. So yeah, I mean there's a whole lot of things that go into this. And inflation in the so inflation in the long term will hurt, but in the short term it will kind of help stocks a little bit
Why you say that?
because you'll be able to get more for cheaper. You understand what I'm saying? But every time it goes up, the money multiplies, and so 100% of 100% is, I mean, like anything multiplied by 100% is 100%. Inflation won't tank the dollar so much.
100 gallon. Yeah, hell yeah, that is shit. No. I'm not saying 100 gallon. I'm saying like $100 overall ain't shit. But yeah, $100 a gallon. Hell yeah, shit.
Yeah.
$5 a gallon is a lot. Well, $3 worth than that is a lot.
Yeah, we're
Shit, for
talking
real,
about
for
like
real.
10, 15 years, 20 years down the line on the $100 a gallon shit. You know, like maybe not because of the way everything's going up, but like it's going to be a while before it reaches that level. You know, but yeah, it's like there's so many factors that go into. But I was saying like inflation kind of helps in the fact that if you're investing and you're doubling your money, and you have the money to to do this with, inflation isn't going to hurt you as much as the average person because when you go to the store to buy milk and it goes from $2 to $4, $2 to $3, that really hurts the average person or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but if you have a lot of money and you're investing a lot of money and you gain a lot of stocks, you get
You
more
ain't gonna
credit.
feel it as much.
Yeah, you ain't gonna feel it as much, and you get more credit options. You know, like yeah, they'd do a false flag to get everybody in. Yeah, there'll be some.
You right.
Oh, there's a bunch of oil leaks been happening and everything lately too. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, that you didn't hear about that.
You believe that though, or do you think they're just trying to perpetuate that just in order to push the gas up more, or did it really happen?
No, this is real shit happening. Like the Flint water. I mean, not Flint. I mean Flint, but North Carolina, they had a pipeline explode, and then I mean, you saw that shit a couple weeks ago where they had the fucking eye of the demon in the sea from oil line exploding. Oh, you didn't see that shit?
Hell no.
Dude, they look like fucking this a couple months ago. Maybe even a couple weeks ago. I think it was a couple months ago. Some pipeline exploded somewhere in the ocean, and it created like this. It looked like the gateway to hell. Like it was just crazy.
So that's killing fish and everything else that was in that sea, right? Wouldn't you think?
But they've been doing that for years. I mean, back when I was a kid, they had the Exxon oil spill up in Alaska here. I think it was. Remember where they had the huge Exxon oil spill and they were showing birds covered in oil and all this shit? Back in like I think it was the 90s, maybe the 80s. But yeah, this shit. I mean, I think Flint, Michigan. No, Flint wasn't the oil. It was
that was the water crisis.
That was the pipes. Yeah, that was the pipes. But I mean, like, there's been oil leaks all over the place. So that happened probably once or twice every year or two. You know what I mean? Like, there's some huge oil leak. Like, they had to shut down some North Carolina pipeline because it blew up so bad.
And when they shut that pipeline down, that's going to raise the price of gas up because there's no production.
Well, it's already gone up. Yeah, it's already gone up because of that. Like, it's more expensive up here now for gas. So, and yeah, but the thing is they have to make it so. I think what happens is as they can't just make something where it doesn't consume something. So if an electric car, you can charge for
everybody electric bill gonna go up because you got to plug your fucking.
And they're gonna make those
batteries. You got to plug your car into your house.
Yeah, Warner Von Braun, look into it. Okay, I'll have to look into him. But you think the batteries are gonna last for like more than a couple of years on these things?
So you saying that the overall battery on your car, you're gonna have to replace it because it's not gonna be holding a charge, just like anything else.
And it may not be that way right now, but that's the way they'll make it because that's how they'll keep money coming in. They'll replace the gas income with some sort of other income like that. You understand? Because we're a consumer-driven society and it's all about profits. So how do you make profits off? If you're the car manufacturer, you're not getting it unless you own the electric company. You're not getting any money out of the electric company charging your car. The electric company's getting that. You understand what I'm saying? So like, unless you're a car company that owns an electric company on top of this, then you're not going to make the money in the long term. And he convinced the shit. Oh wow, I have to look
So,
into that.
but think, are the car companies in bed with the oil companies or something? Is that what you're trying to insinuate? That's what
I'm
it
just
is
saying
right now.
it's not only yeah. I mean, I guess, but I just think that maybe you're right. I didn't really think about it that way, but I'm just under the influence of like they're gonna figure out a way to make money off this constantly for the rest of their lives, so they can't make these cars last forever. Just like
No, they're gonna need repair anyway, though. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got to get parts and repair. Even though the electric cars, I'm pretty sure they got some sort of parts and some sort of repair that has to be done to them. I'm pretty sure.
And that's the other thing. It has to be easy to repair. It has to be accessible for everybody that's in small towns and in whatever can just go to the local shop. You can't go to a local shop right now, really.
With a
like
Tesla,
up here in
probably
fucking
not.
Alaska with a Tesla and expect them to be able to fix it.
No, they ain't gonna be able to do shit.
Like,
and then like your street mechanics, they gonna be out the game once this shit kick into effect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I already know a lot of street mechanics that used to be able to do a lot of shit, and the more advanced it gets, they're like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. You got to hook this thing in, and it says whatever, and they can make.
Wow, you think that, bot?
No, he's right about that. I saw this. I saw this. This was 5 years ago, I think it was, somewhere around there, maybe 10 years ago even. But they had these roads that they lit up too, right? If I remember right, they lit up, and
that's
they were
dope.
Yeah, like it looked dope as fuck, but I mean the amount of infrastructure cost it would cost. They don't spend money on our infrastructure right now. You think they're going to redesign all the roads for that shit?
They always, where I'm at, they always tearing up the fucking roads. This is construction every fucking where. So when you tear up the roads, put whatever else, which I'm sure is going to be expensive to put whatever you got to put.
That's what I'm saying. Until the price stops dropping on this shit, which it's all expensive right now because it's all new technology, and all new technology in the beginning is super expensive because they got to cover the cost to put into the research and development to keep improving it. So you're right. That was nanotech. Yes. Because they had some shit about they had some video, I think, about a car driving and then a deer coming on the road, and how, and it wasn't just that they charge your car, it could control your but from what I understand, I think it could control you from having collisions too. Like it could stop your car at some points. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it was like a whole network. Like your car would be in this network, and the road was the network. So
that's dope.
So that's kind of the concept, I believe, of the whole thing was. It was like wires to the internet that would just and
then once they do that, I think I was hearing some shit where it would kind of make like they can make the roads where like how they got the autonomous driving, like it could kind of help with that too, like the roads could kind of keep the car, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it becomes a computer program, like you type in an address, it's GPS, it's taking the GPS technology, putting it so it's in the road, like it'll direct your car, like it's all. I'm having a hard time explaining exactly, but like, if your road is basically a computer and your car is a computer, then they can program the car to go wherever you can program the car to drive wherever you want to on these roads, and you won't even have to drive anymore. But we're so far away from that. I mean, that's like we might see that near the end of our lifetime ticket, but like
that's fucked up. It's gonna get real dope when we ready to check out.
I know. If we survive the next like 10, 15 years, shit's going to get dope in like 20 years from now. Shit's going to get
we only getting older. We ain't going to be able to be young as fuck to be able to appreciate it like that.
Yeah, I remember too. I'm going to put some long money on that.
Impact is a leaper, man. That bitch going to go, man.
Yeah.
That bitch going to go.
I think it's going to take a while for it to take off. Maybe, it won't get to the levels of like whatever. So I think.
Yeah. So basically, you got time, like say when you making money in between your plays, buy you 100 or 200 shares. You know what I'm saying? Just constantly add to your position because this could be a long term. If you get yourself on if you can if you can accumulate like 3,000 shares or 3,000 shares, you're gonna have some bread long term.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you put a couple G's on that at the end of this year, beginning of next year, and you just hold it for like 5 fucking years. You're going to be sitting pretty nice. Now I'm looking to make more money in short term too, but I want some long term investments. But right now, short term. But once I get to the end of the year, hopefully that changes, and I can start. If I make enough money in the short term, I can start looking long term. You know what I'm
saying? We got it. Take dough to make bread.
Yeah. You're right. And, everything. I'm going through some big changes right now, so my dough is dried up, and I'm trying to hold on to what I got, and hopefully this starts turning around pretty soon. And then I can I'm hoping if I can just hold steady with where I'm at and with everything going on.
He said more than halfway there. So what you said in what 3 bands? Probably 3,000 shares. Oh yeah, AB, you gonna get to that paper.
Yeah.
You gonna get to that paper, bro.
I hope so.
That's what we here for, man. We got buying, we all together, man. We definitely gonna touch that paper, man.
Hey, we talked about this offline a little bit too. We're a team in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's talk about let's bring it online, because you know what? You know, one thing that other shows that people, you know, like traders, they don't talk about the struggle that they going through getting to the paper. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got this or that. Let's talk about the struggle on the way to the paper too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's part of this shit too.
There is, it's like, so they're trying to sell a persona, so they're faking it till they make it. You know what I mean? Like they're faking it till they make it. It's an oldest school trick in the book. Like there's a lot of grifters use this stuff, is fake it until you make it, you know? But I'm more realistic. Like my life sucks right now. I'll let you know it sucks. I'm having trouble with money. I'm not the one to be listening to for financial advice probably, but when it comes to stock market and stuff like that, it's not just charts and whatever. Sometimes it's stuff like we're talking about with MMAT. That's real life shit that's going to happen that you have to look long term at.
And Bob said he got 14 bands in it. Ooh.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Hey, he gonna flip that mad times over.
Yeah, and that's something that too you can have invested in. If you need some money taken out for an emergency, or whatever, if you take out 1,000 of that, is it really going to hurt you in the long run?
Nope.
You can reinvest in it later on again, you know. So it's better than a savings. This is the thing about the stock market. It's better than a savings account if you're smart about it. You know what I mean? Like you put your money in the bank, it doesn't really grow. You put your money in the stock market, you may lose some, but chances are, if you get smart and make the right investments over time, your money's going to grow. It's just a matter of how fast it's going to grow. But it's going to grow faster. Yeah, it's going to grow faster than it is in the bank, and it's going to grow faster than you putting under your couch and under your, you know, under your bed or whatever, you know. So, and look, I'm a very cash heavy person. I don't like dealing with banks and shit too much. But it's a change in age. It's all going to be digital money. This is why crypto is kind of the hot thing right now, because people are trying to force the money to go digital for the most part. We're still a long way away from that. You know, like we're still a long way away from that. Bitcoin, just like AMC upset the Bitcoin. Well, who fucking, I'm sorry. I know they say Bitcoin is like not rich people's money, but Bitcoin is rich people's money at this point. It's fucking 50,000.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it's rich people's money. When they start taking Doge and like in all these other Ethereum or whatever, you know, like all these lower level ones, that's when it'll be, or at least make it more accessible to people. You know what I mean? Like,
but you know what? I believe eventually they will start taking, because like it's smaller ones that they're starting to accept at different places. It's like a slow process, like, you know, kind of like how weed is being accepted. You know, it started in California or Denver. You know, it goes to this place, that place. It's going to be, I believe, crypto is going to be like that. My personal opinion.
I think the U.S. dollar is changing to a cryptocurrency because they don't
really that digital dollar back. Yeah, I believe they about to do that too, because they see what it is. But crypto,
and by the way, 70% of the world runs off American currency right now. You know, like 70% of the world. So it's already set up to be the US dollar will be the cryptocurrency of the world before anything else will be. Now, will that stay for the long term? That depends on a lot of things, you know. Yeah, let's see run after
I'm waiting for that fish to run. I'm already in. I've been in for months. I'm so
mad that I had to make some moves this week, because I had taken out the 20 shares and I was going to put that in Shiba. And you're blowing up.
What the fuck going on?
You reaching another level?
Hell no, this mother. Yeah, my phone on some bullshit.
Oh shit. Yeah, one world currency, but it could be the US dollar. It could end up being the world currency, because even China takes their money. As much as China likes to run stuff, their economy has been running off the US dollar for the most part. When we put the factories over there and we put, you know, a lot of their economy is based off the US dollar. More of the world's economy is based off the US dollar than the Chinese dollar. You know, it's just that their own stock market actually has rules and regulations that prevent crazy shit from happening that happens over here, you know.
He said, "How to bro?" Damn, my nigga, broke your shit. I just got this bitch S21, man.
Isn't that the Mario S21 fucking theme?
Yeah,
Mario. Yeah, that dude. Yeah.
I put it on vibrate, so y'all motherfuckers ain't gotta hear that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put that on there.
What, you ain't old school Mario fan, bot? Come on now.
You fuck with Mario. I ain't played Mario in a minute, but they need to put that shit on Xbox so like you can download that shit or something. Or
Well,
have some sort of emulator.
I think Nintendo would be better off being a fucking game development company as opposed to putting out these systems now. I mean, not that they don't sell, but I mean, I think they would sell a lot of Mario games and Zelda games on fucking Xbox and PlayStation and PC, you know?
Yeah.
But they're never gonna do that. They're unless they fuck up really. Like the was it the Wii U was like kind of
it would have been an S21 after. You said it would have been an S21. It would have been a minus S21 after. Damn, I just traded my Note 20 in to get this motherfucker, man. I ain't had this bitch nothing but a couple of days, man. I don't do ringtones. He said stay on silent. Yeah, I just put my shit on vibrate, man.
I used to do ringtones, but I get sick of hearing the same shit. Like, I mean, obviously every phone has a ringtone, but I just keep mine on one of the general ones on the phone now. I had the most annoying one as I watch wrestling, so they had this guy Bobby Roode had this Glorious song, and it would come on Glorious, and like it was just like this big but I started doing it, but I'm like, oh shit. Speaking of that, WWE was another one that's gonna sell soon. It's getting closer and closer. No,
I had a Note 20 Plus Ultra. I had the Ultra, the big one. It was 512 gigs. I just said that I'm in the Samsung Access where you can trade your shit back in. So I just got this motherfucker. I just said I didn't like that Note 20, man. So I went got this bitch right here.
I got El Broco LP prepaid phone. Yeah, I'm not a big phone guy, man. I wish I was, but I'm just not.
You know what? I got the Note 8 too, man. This is my Note 8. This motherfucker, this is really the one. This is the most sturdy phone for real. To really be honest, this is my bitch right here. That Note 20 was Ultra. It was a Note 20 Ultra or whatever.
I missed the flip phones. I ran over my car with my flip phone once.
I just sent that Note 20 off. Man, that motherfucker, it was. I didn't like it, man. I'm a no fan. I got the Ultra. I had the Ultra rather. I traded that motherfucker in, man. I just sent that bitch back in on Saturday, man. I just sent that bitch back FedEx, man. For this boy, I kind of like this motherfucker. It's cool.
I mean, I just said I don't get the difference.
They got that.
On what's so different about every phone. Like every phone's kind of the same. I understand there's a difference between like iPhone and Android, but otherwise than that, like Samsung has a flip phone that's dope. Yeah, but it's probably flimsy as shit. It's probably not
better. I was looking at. I was kind of hesitant on trading it in, man. But that motherfucker, man, I didn't have a good experience. It was running hot, and then my damn S21 just ran hot today. I damn near might tell the motherfuckers to send my damn Note back. They probably ain't got it yet, but that was the last Note they making. Because I see they didn't make one. I mean, I wasn't a fan, man. I probably should have kept that bitch, but I don't know, man. I'm rocking with this now. For now, it's cool. I mean, they both 512 gigabytes. I mean, it's cool. It seems like the Note was a little bigger though, because shit, I be seeing the screen is a little bigger on that Note. I could tell, but it's 2K. Yeah, I ain't fucking with that. This bitch was 1400, the 21. But I got money back because I'm in that Access, some kind of crazy shit. I hope they ain't fuck me, man. And like I said, the Note 8 is still the best, man. This the best one, man. This the best. No, I ain't giving this motherfucker. Hopefully I don't break this motherfucker, man. This my boy, man.
How many phones you got? You a drug dealer?
Hell no. Absolutely not. You think I want to go to jail?
I used to have three. So when I was on the road, I was telling you about this job I had on the road. I always had two phones on me because they gave me a company phone, then I had my personal phone. Then I'd be at a restaurant, I have them both on the table or whatever. And every time I had them out, people are like, "Are you a fucking drug dealer?" I'm like, "No, I have a business phone, and then I have a not business phone."
Yeah, people think that's it.
Yeah,
hell no. Yeah, I ain't trying to go. I'm too old to go to jail, my dude.
Yeah,
no, I don't want those type of troubles.
No, not like I haven't done in the past, but I'm an older man now, and I realize that it's not the way to go.
Can't play the game like that, bro.
Yeah, especially nowadays, like you can't get away with shit really if they want,
Exactly. It's too much bullshit with that, and it's way more money in this shit right here than we talking about. Shit.
Yeah,
and you ain't got to worry about motherfuckers kicking your door down, watching you follow. This thing when you a drug dealer, it's somebody's job to stop you from doing your job. Think about
And not
that.
only that, you have to worry about the street angle too, with somebody jacking you for your shit.
Trying to ride. Exactly.
Yeah,
You got too much to worry about.
yeah,
No, no, sir.
yeah. No, I lived that life for a little bit. That was too much for me. I was like, fuck that. I can't deal with that shit. Because
Nah, that shit ain't cool,
your
man.
head's got to be on a swivel 24/7. So it's like, yeah. I got some funny stories. When I meet you in person, I'll tell you some funny stories about some shit in the past.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have to meet, man. This ain't gonna be no 8 fest. This is gonna be some real motherfuckers chopping it up and kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're gonna be there too.
Bot, you gonna have to fuck with us, man, because you telling us the plays, you helping us get to this paper, and we trying to spread it. Hopefully, motherfuckers end up listening and getting it. But for sure, man, and like we were saying, we kind of steered away from that. Like, tell the traders about the struggle on trying to get to it, like sacrifices and shit like that. That, you know what I'm saying? That's real life that somebody might be listening to, because it's more than one person in the situation you in, or maybe worse, and they trying to get in it for the same reasons. Like, tell them, like, just explain to them, go into depth and tell them about like all that, how it is, and like shit like that.
You want me to tell them about what's going on in my life right now?
Yeah, that too, and like how it all, like what you trading, and like how that all goes together. Like, give somebody your story, because sometimes people need to hear that shit. I like hearing people's stories. You know what I'm saying?
I know. It's kind of tough to talk about, but I mean, it's okay. So I guess if you want to talk about why I got into trading, sorry, my phone's going. Why I got into trading in the first place is because a couple of years ago, before the pandemic hit, I was managing a gas station and working overnights at it too in Washington. And I was living in a bad situation. I lived with some alcoholics that we were arguing it got to the point where we're starting to get physical and shit. And I was like, I can't. I was in their house and I'm like, I don't want to get into it. I'll be the one that ends up in jail. I'll just get the fuck out of here. So I got kicked out of where I was at. I stayed at a friend's place and I said, I need to change my life. I need to do something different than what I'm doing because this isn't working. And I have over 20 years of like retail experience. I've done a bunch of different kinds of jobs and stuff like that too. So it's not like I'm a bad worker. It's just that I've had to move so much because of these kind of situations. So I said, I'm going to look for a job where room and board is included, because I done it before a little bit and I was getting close to get on my feet, but they moved me up in the office and had me move there, and it ended up being a big clusterfuck. I would rather just stay on the road or stay where I'm at and have room and board paid for. So I said, well, I had put in for an application as a restaurant manager at this place called Basin Harbor in Vermont. And so this was February of 2000, was it 2020 when the pandemic hit, right? Or 2019?
2020 at the beginning.
Sorry. Yeah, so sorry, everything's kind of blown together because everything's just been whirlwind happening. So I had left Washington. I went back to Maine to visit for a couple weeks before I was supposed to go to Vermont and spend the summer there. And I figured if I got one, it was a seasonal job, but I figured if I got one, I could get one in the winter, one in the summer. I'd flip back and forth between the places. And
for sure, Dan. For sure, Dan. Go ahead,
and I would save up enough money to at least buy some land, buy a house, give me some stability. I could do this for 5 or 6 years, just not spend a lot of money, room and board included. I was going to make like $18 an hour at this one place, which is not great, but it's not bad either if everything's included. You know what I mean? Like, so, but that didn't work out because the pandemic hit. So I had to change my plans. I got stuck on my ex's couch for like 6 months. And I ended up going back to work at a gas station. And then the opportunity came for me to come to Alaska. And in Alaska, there's a woman here that was a teacher, but she goes out to what they call the bush country, which I don't know how PC that is, but like to indigenous, like Eskimo villages, and teaches special education kids. But she has these 14 husky dogs that needed to be taken care of. So my friend had moved up here from Washington. He kind of put me on this, and I moved up here, and it was room and board included. And I got like $1,000 a month. Well, while I was doing that, I started doing odd jobs in the community. I joined this Facebook group, which Facebook is useful in a lot of ways if you stay out of the bullshit, just like Twitter. You know, if you stay away from the bullshit and whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to read. But so when I moved up here, I was making okay money doing the odd jobs, taking care of the dogs and stuff like that. And then I said, well, this isn't going to be enough for me to get my own place. And then I saw the GameStop thing happen, and I said, well, maybe I should look into getting a stock market, because it's something I've kind of followed over the years, not like intensely, but like I've kept an eye on things here and there over the years. And I said, well, now with these trading platforms and everything, actually, let me take a look at actually what it takes to get invested. So I invested, I did took my lumps and everything like that. And now, like last year I had extra money to put into it. Well, this year things have changed. Now I moved in with a woman who needs 24/7 care. I don't make as much money because I can't do the other job that I was doing before. And now my dad's sick. And my dad has dementia and Parkinson's, and along with the gallbladder issue, along with a heart issue. And this week in here, this week I have to figure out how I'm going to get home. Because my mom can't handle it anymore. And we took him to the hospital. And anyway, I ended up being a clusterfuck, and we ended up discharging him and bringing him back home. We're trying to get him into a home, and I have to sell my truck. I have to figure out how I'm going to get home. I have to figure out the vaccination status, and I'm trying to get home by next week because this thing has progressed very quickly. And I'm not going into too much detail or whatever about all the other bullshit that comes along with it. There's always family shit along with it too. It's never just like your dad has a medical problem. It's like your sister and your mother are going nuts, and like everything around it too. And money's an issue, so I have to go home and try to figure this out real quick. And I feel bad because I have to leave this woman who's not doing that well either, So now I know that, not trying to be greedy and make home runs, but I'm trying to get some money up quickly so I can get home and I don't have to go right to a shitty job that's going to take up all the time and not be able to give me the ability to get my father into good care. So I want to at least get home with like a month or month and a half worth of money before I have to go to work somewhere, which I also started. And that's the thing too. When I moved up here, and I always liked helping people. I've done a bunch of stuff for people in the past, but I was like, I always do it and people are ungrateful. When I started doing work in the community and helping these older people that don't have, like in these areas, in these rural areas, there's not a lot of people up here that will do shit work for cheap. And like you try to call somebody out from the city and they'll charge you an arm and leg just to come out and pick up some branches and shit. You know what I mean? Me, I charge $20 an hour. We'll just go and do whatever, stack of wood, lawn work, painting, moving, whatever. And there's a lot of elderly people in these areas that just need somebody like this around. So this is something I can do anywhere. That's like, if I go back home to Maine, I can do this too. But I also started substitute teaching because I wanted to, I kind of, it was part, like, I think the school system kind of sucks. I wanted to see what was going on, but I also wanted to help some kids out, so I started substitute teaching, which was very fulfilling too. So in my future, I would like to do things that give back to a community in ways I can.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely will do that too when I run this bag up from doing that. And Bob was talking about that. We was on Twitter. Like, basically, when we do touch that paper, we definitely want to give back. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And like this, like charities take the money and don't give them to the actual people. I would rather actually help. And this is why
I want to see the motherfuckers I'm affecting. Like it make you feel better about doing what you're doing too. Like, cause like you get your money I probably would give some of it to like St. Jude's and shit like that too. Yeah. But I actually want to go and see me give it to somebody and like see the person and it make you feel better. Motherfucker break down crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I'm really helping somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just about that.
It's not just about that. When you give these charities, they're so fucking corrupt too that most of the time the money doesn't go where it needs to go. So I would
probably not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So like my dream scenario is my great grandfather used to own a restaurant in this town called Bingham, Maine. It was the first restaurant in Bingham. It got out of our family. It's been up for sale on and off over the years. It was up for sale last time I knew. What I would like in my hometown Bingham. Okay, so we used to have paper factories there. And they're gone now because China took them out. So it's like a dead town. There's nothing there. There's no, there's still people living there, but there's nothing like there to produce or anything. If I ever got a lot of money, I'd like to go in and buy my grandfather's restaurant. I'd like to start producing some cookies, some snacks, selling them online, sell them to vendors around the area. And some of that portion of the money, the profits, go to the school in the area because there's not a lot of funding for the school in the area too for these kids. So that's kind of like my dream scenario in the end, is to like go there. I'm not greedy. I would rather pay people well, make sure they're living okay in my hometown, and give to the school so the kids in the future have something to look forward to in the fucking town they grew up in, as opposed to having to move across the country all the time like I do just to make by. You know what I mean?
And Bob was saying like he want to run this bag up and make rent free for people who need rent and shit like that, which is very great. For you know what I'm saying? I want to help people everywhere I can, man, because motherfuckers need help. It shouldn't be people fucked up like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's
the government ain't gonna fix it. We gotta start doing this stuff ourselves to help people out. You know what I mean?
Say we build like a group of traders here, which we gonna end up doing. Like we need to all do that. You know what I'm saying? Like say when we start running these bands up and getting to these amps and start touching these amps, we definitely like all as a group. we gotta like help people. Like we gotta
Yeah,
definitely hold each other accountable at doing that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and look, hey, I'll give to a charity if you guys can show me that the money's actually going where it's supposed to go, and it's
Or,
not
or,
to a
or,
charity.
or like you said, say we do that and we go through our cities or whatever cities we
Yeah,
pick and help
hey,
people there. Not just that, you know what I'm saying? Like hands
yeah,
on type shit. Because like you said, sometimes we not gonna be able to. We're
I
not gonna
would
be able
rather
to.
have bought or you tell me, hey, there's something that's going on in my town. They need money for. I'd rather give it to you guys, know it's going to go where it's going to go, as opposed to giving it to a charity. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
Yeah.
like
He
that's the
said
way I
we
feel
we
about.
can have thousands of us funding. That's what I'm saying. We got to
Yeah,
get like it's the more we stay online talking about it and making money, the more people gonna come and make money with us. And
yeah,
dang, if you watching this, look at the beginning. We talking about good plays. I'm sure we gonna talk about it
yeah,
too. So like we gonna start talking about it and putting positive vibes in the air. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
start talking about looking forward, moving forward, and like
yeah,
money making plays and shit. And it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
Bob been talking to shit, and I done seen shit go up that he done said several times. So we just
yeah,
keep on spreading this, and the more people gonna see is money being made over here, they gonna come over here. And one of the requirements, if you keep on making money, why not give back? You know what I'm saying? That keep your energy and your karma good too. You know what I'm saying? Like I totally believe in that.
yeah.
Like
Like I would like to go down to the town that I grew up, that I was born in, Bingham, Maine. And I would like to help that town out because it's been struggling for a long time. I know a lot of people up there. I don't know them as well anymore, obviously, because I've been separated for years. But I would like my great grandfather. So my great grandfather was like the idol of my family to me because when he owned this restaurant, he would give food to people that were homeless or struggling there for free. He would do things like there was a factory there and some people didn't have enough money in their check till the next check to pay them. So he would let them sit there and like eat for free or wait and say, oh, you can pay me on Friday when you get paid. And if they didn't pay him, he never held it against him. He was a really giving guy. And I really would like to, my middle name is after him. Actually, my surname on here, the Herald, that's kind of a nod to him too. That's, like, so it's not spelled the same, but in my own, like, whatever, it's like my ode to, if
paying
I ever,
homage.
yeah, like if I ever become like whatever, some sort of famous by whatever luck, which I'm not really looking to, but I'm just saying, like, if I did, the reason why I chose that name is to honor him and what he did in the past, which he's totally different from the rest of my family. The rest of my family are big pieces of shit. And like that's the only, like, so my grandfather and my great grandfather are the only two good people that I know in my family. And I would rather live up to their standard because, like, I went back to the restaurant to look into buying it a couple years ago and thought I could maybe pull it off. But when I went in the restaurant, they had a story about my grandfather back in the day on the menu still. Like these new people, these new owners. So his legacy means a lot to that town. So for me to come back,
That's what's up.
to be able to give people jobs, to be able to give school funding, to be able to give people housing, that's what I want, because I want to see the people in my town grow up to have a future there, just like I'm sure you do where you're from, where you're living at. Everybody has a different place to call home. I've lived so many places. There's so many people I would like to help out in the community, in different communities, and maybe I'll get to that someday. But if I ever make this money, the first thing I'm doing is going back to where I started at and try to help them out first. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
100.
yeah, so that's the
And we and
dream.
we and we definitely gonna get to this money, man. We
Yeah,
definitely gonna get to it. We gotta stay patient. We can't never quit.
yeah.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
like,
And
look,
it's definitely gonna happen, man.
times are tough for me right now. I might not be able to keep my money invested right now. I'm gonna be able to keep some of it, but not all of it. At some point, I'm gonna have to cash out some of it. But that doesn't mean down
That's
the line I can't.
understandable.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean down the line, like next year, my financial situation might change a little bit better, and I can start investing more again. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna try to stay in the market as long as I can because I need to make money, and this is the quickest way to make money right now. Yeah,
Oh
there's a lot
yeah.
of chasing. There's a lot of chasing, but all it takes is one or two. All it takes is one or two. Like to
Oh
make me
hell
enough
yeah.
money, to make me enough money
My
to like to get by a couple months until I can get more in the long term. But all it takes is one or two. Like, say Spirit jumps up, I got $200 in Spirit. Well, say it jumps up to $30 or something like that. Well, that's about $1,000 in my pocket that I didn't have. That'll help me get through a month with all the shit going
mm-hmm.
on. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So I'm trying to hold AMC right now because it's still going up. I know all you'll hate it. It's still going up. But I'm saying it's still going up. I'm still way up on it. Until it starts really going down to, like real low levels, then I'm probably not going to get rid of it until I need the cash. And then but I mean, at least not all of it. I'm going to start piecing it out, though. I already started piecing it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had 220 shares, which is not a lot. I sold 20. That gave me $600 to work, and I threw it in some other stocks. And I'm going to let them sit this week. And at the end of this week, I'm going to cash out whichever ones I feel like I need to get me settled at home. So that's, it sucks. Like I want to hold for as long as I can on these things because I realize, like in the long term, these things are going to play out better. But in the short term, I have to have money too. And with my situation, go get it. It's easy to say go get a job, but when you got 50 fucking thousand things happening in your life, sometimes the job needs to get put on hold till you sort this shit out, and then you can go back. Because if I'm stressed out and I got all this shit going on, I'm gonna end up losing that job for losing my shit at work. You know what I mean? Like if especially in the fields that I have and doing retail and stuff like that, because all it's gonna take is one motherfucker to come in and not make my day, and I'm gonna snap right now. So it's not that I'm lazy or whatever. Like I said, when I get back to it, I'm probably gonna end up in the next month. I got a good recommendation from the teachers up here for my substitute that I did last year here. So they already said they gave me good recommendations. So I'm gonna look into home and the substitute teaching in the areas where I'm around there. And then I might throw up some stuff on Facebook and do some odd jobs around the area. And that I feel like at least helps people more than working at a gas station. Gas stations. It's not that gas station people don't help people either, because I've been a psychologist, for people over the years. That's a hard job too, because you get inundated. You get some people that come in a good mood and joke around, but everybody's miserable. Everybody has been getting worse. So a lot of times you're sitting there hearing people's problems, or hey, somebody died that or whatever. It's always something. Every day it's something just to bring you down. Where doing what I was doing last year, I was so much happier. I was so much more motivated. I worked 12 to 14-hour days most days, and I didn't mind it. I loved it. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping this all fucking turns around pretty quick, because it's been. I mean, I've gone about a month and a half straight with just constant bad news as far as health, and with the woman I'm taking care of, her husband, she just put her dog down the same day my dad went to the hospital. She put her dog that she had 14 years down. I mean, it's just been, and has trouble getting around. She can barely walk, and so it's just tough. I wish I could clone two of me right now, keep one of me here and one of me back home, but I have to go. She understands. Like, she's not mad about me leaving. She's actually going to help me get my ticket from my pay. She's going to give me my pay a little bit early so I can get my ticket and stuff. So but yeah, I got, and I'm hoping I can sell my truck. It's not even guaranteed I'll be able to sell my truck before I leave. So, yeah. So it's just rough, man. It's tough, and I'm sure
this show test is going to be your testimony, though.
Yeah, but I didn't. I talked to you guys some behind. I didn't want to bring it up online and stuff because everybody's going through shit. Everybody I know.
But it's real. But see, a lot of people not online talking about what they go through. A lot of people online pretending like they rich and everything is all good. You know what I'm saying? So it's traders out here going through the same. You don't believe it's other traders in AMC going through worse, if not worse shit than you, trying to hold on. You know what I'm saying? Or any other. It doesn't necessarily have to be AMC. Any other stock. Like, so this happens, you know what I'm saying? And this should be spoke on, you know what I'm saying? I believe, you know what I'm saying? Because all aspects of the game need to be spoke on, not just one.
I mean, there's some stuff I obviously have to keep out because there's always family shit. But I can't drive through. Canada they're not letting people in that are not vaccinated, from what I understand. I'm not vaccinated yet because I haven't been able to, because I have to be in an area where I can get sick for 2 weeks, and I'm not. Like, I can't be that. This shot sometimes there's side effects to it. And I can't, with what I'm doing with this woman, I can't be the one sick and not being able to get around. I have to be there to get around for her, and I have I had a DUI in my past, so I have to go through all this bullshit to, take like 5 weeks. It'll take like 5 days. I drove from Washington to Texas and Texas to Maine. I did it in about 4 days total. So it'll take about 5 days from Canada, from Alaska. But still, I don't know if my truck will make it. Like, my truck is a 2007. It needs new tires pretty soon. The fuel pump needs to be replaced. So and I still owe the person that helped me get the truck some money on it. So I have to split that off too, because somebody was helping me invest in my business some last year, and I didn't ask for it. They just said, "Hey, you need a truck." They went down and helped me buy a truck, and I've been paying them $500 a month ever since. And I got it more than halfway paid off, but I still owe a couple thousand on it. So I'm just going to have to take what I get for the truck and hope that, it works out. I mean, I even might have to take it back to the dealership and see if they'll buy it back if I don't sell it by the end of this week sometime. And everything's been happening so fast. Tonight I'm going to have to take pictures of it and put it online tomorrow, because this weekend I've been on the phone dealing with, and there's a 4-hour time difference too. So I have to be up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to get, or 5 or 6, depending on, but like my mom wakes up at like 6 or 7 in the morning and wants to talk to me about what's going to go on that day. So I have to be up all night, and this one up here stays up all night. So I'm sleeping like 2 or 3 hours at a time, just constantly stressed out, constantly. Yeah. Hey, I don't mind driving it. I don't mind driving it though. Like I've driven across country a bunch. I've driven from Virginia to Kansas, Kansas to Maine, Virginia to Maine, Seattle to Texas, Texas to Maine. Christ, so when I was younger, I used to just hop a Greyhound bus when somebody needed some help. I used to hop a Greyhound bus and go across the country, and I'd spend 3 or 4 days getting to Kansas on a bus. So I won't do that no more though. No, fuck no. The bus stations have gotten way worse over time, and there's no way I'm going through that shit again. But yeah. So like the driving I'd rather drive than fly, honestly. I'm not a big fan of flying. I've done it a bunch of times.
Man, I hate airplanes, man.
Yeah.
I ain't even bullshit you.
I get wicked bad pressure headaches from it every time I fly. So I think I think I might have a deviated septum or something. The way it fucking like it's intense pain. So
how much is a ticket?
I looked yesterday, and for the time period I'm looking into, it's like $180 to $250 depending on where I fly out of. I have to look some more into it today. Like I said, I haven't had really time. Because I've been on the phone with the hospital and my mom and my sister and the rest of my family. I've been kind of I'm the clear-headed one of the group for the most part, like I'm the adult in the room. Everybody else I'm dealing with is a bunch of kids. So
I treat my car.
Oh shit. I drove from Texas to Maine a couple years ago, and one of my tires started going flat on the way. So I had to keep stopping and putting air in the tire. Like when I got about halfway through, so I had to keep putting air on the tire, kind of feel it out when you don't really know when the tire is gonna go flat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to keep feeling it out and stopping like every hour or two to put air in the tire to make sure it would fucking make it the whole way. It was a pain in the ass. I almost died a couple times, and yeah, it's just the thing about driving is people are fucking crazy drivers. I'd rather drive at night, even though I can't see as well, but I don't have to deal with many people on the road either. But I overall, I don't mind driving too long distance. I've done it a bunch of times in my life, but honestly, I'd rather just plop my ass somewhere and not travel again if it's possible, unless, once I get through the initial, like, if I got rich and I'd take a road trip and pay everybody. After that, I'd plop my ass down somewhere and maybe travel once a year or once every 2 years or something like that. Because I've seen enough. I've seen most of the United States. The only states I haven't seen are like Arizona, Nevada, California, Florida, and Hawaii. I think that's the only states I haven't been through at some point in my life. Yeah, so I've been around. I've been around. So I mean, and I lived in Minneapolis too. I lived in Salt Lake City for a minute. I mean, I've been around. So but no place is really every place is the same in the end. People are the same. They're just, whether it's a black community or a white community, you got the same type of people in both communities. You know what I mean? Like you have your dumbasses, your rednecks, your whatever, and then you have the people that are uppity, and you have the people that that church going people, and it's just everybody. Every clique is the same everywhere. It's just different people in the clique. You know what I mean? So, what you looking at?
For me?
Yeah, I thought you were looking at something up.
No, I was looking at my damn phone.
So I try not to bring. I talked about it today, but I'm trying not to talk. Like the way I feel about it is, I'm not looking for anybody to feel sorry for me. I'm not looking for handouts for help or whatever. I'll figure this shit out myself. I mean, well, obviously with your guys' help with the stock market and stuff like that, but that's not, like, because everybody's going through it. Everybody's going through something, especially with coronavirus hit last year.
Believe that.
Everybody's going through it.
That's why I believe it. He said, "Let's go down that rabbit hole."
Let's go down there. The Werner von Bush or whatever his name was.
What's his name?
I have to look back at this. I'll have to watch this later and get that name written down because I didn't bring a pen and paper out with me today. Werner von Braun or something like that. Werner von Braun.
So you never heard of him before, AB? I never heard of him.
Not at the top of my head. Maybe when I start seeing, so it's one of those things I might have, once we start reading about it, I might ring a bell or something. But are you going to get pulled off of YouTube for this, by the way, for the going down the rabbit hole? You're gonna be Black Alex Jones. Next thing you know, we start doing
I
this.
doubt it. He say he had Germans. Hold up, we about to dick off Finning real quick.
All right,
A Nazi scientist. I see. I just pulled him up.
Well, let's go to Wikipedia. I know how trusted that is, but still, I usually get the gist of it, even if it's not all true. So, a German aerospace engineer and space art, leading development and rocket technology, pioneer space. While in his 20s and early 30s, von Braun worked in Nazi Germany's rocket development program. He helped design and co-develop the V2 rocket in, I don't know, Pidnum during World War II. Following the war, he was secretly moved to the United States along with about 1,600 other German scientists, engineers, and technicians as part of Operation Paperclip. He worked for the United States Army as an intermediate range ballistic missile program and developed the rockets that launched the United States' first space satellite. In 1960, his group was assimilated into NASA, where he served as the director of the newly formed Marshall Space Flight Center and as the chief architect of Saturn V or 5, I guess, super heavy lift launch vehicle that propelled Apollo spacecraft to the moon. In 1967, von Braun was inducted into the National Academy of Engineering, and in 1975, he received the National Medal of Science. He advocated for a human mission to Mars. Okay, so that doesn't really say why he's...
Is it somewhere else we supposed to go?
Yeah, let's see. Keep going down. It's early life and education. That's not what we're looking for, probably.
So we looking for
career in Germany. I'm gonna guess it's post-Nazi career because if we're talking about going down the road, I'm gonna say it's once he got to the United States, probably, where because he was killed obviously while he was working for the United States, right?
Slave labor.
Yeah, that's not what we're looking for.
Right here, you thinking?
Probably go down further a little bit more. Probably go to near the end of his life. That'll probably like... What are we looking for, Bot? What are we looking for? Because it's obvious.
He got a lot to him.
Yeah.
He said contracts with the alien. He said Wikipedia. He said Google him talking about false flags. Okay, hold on.
Oh, we might have to watch a video or something for this.
No, I guess it might be something.
Okay, that's probably what we're looking for right there. False flag of alien invasion. No, go back to the other one. Go back to the other one.
Not this one.
Not this one. The next one down.
This one.
Either that one or the next one. Go to the next one. The von Braun's fault. Yeah, they go to that. Let's see if that's what he's talking. I imagine this is what Bot's getting to, right? So, Werner von Braun began privately telling Carol Rosen, a colleague at a major aerospace company, Fairchild Industries, about a sequence of controversial global false flag cards, such as an asteroid impacts and extraterrestrial invasion, which would lead to the militarization of space and usher in a new world order. Now, more than 40 years later, the sequence predicted by von Braun appears to be on the verge of playing out in mainstream media, increasingly speculate about asteroid strikes and alien invasion, and what many believes are cases of predictive programming. Given von Braun's background as a former Nazi and the existence of a breakaway Nazi colony in South America, can you move that up a little bit? I can't read because it's blocked. No, no, other way, so I can get to the end of it.
This is only far as I can go down. So where are you
at? American and Antarctic in the South in the post-World War
II era, seeking to establish Fourth Reich. A key question whether von Braun's warning was genuine or whether it was part of a deception from the Fourth Reich.
So So you're saying all this alien sighting and everything, which I believe, because I mean, you saw Trump trying to make the Space Force, and militarize the Space Force, right? So don't be surprised if they fake an alien invasion, is what you're saying then, which I could see happening. Not that I don't believe in aliens. I believe in aliens more than I believe in a lot of other things, you know, because chances are there are aliens in the world now. As far as they having the ability to come see us or whatever, I don't know about that.
I wonder when it lets you get in there. So I wonder, where is this somewhere else we could see some shit? He said.
So,
So what they predicting? So what he thinking it's about to be an alien invasion? They about to be talking about it or some shit?
well, they're kind of setting that up. I don't know if you noticed lately, they've admitted that UFOs exist, but they
For
don't.
real?
They don't say it's aliens. Yeah, like this is. They'll sit there and say, you know, we have UFOs, but we don't know if they're alien or not. We don't think they're alien. But then they'll throw out stuff like, I think there's a vehicle or something they came admitted that the metals weren't from this world. So, and then you saw Trump last year trying to make the Space Force into a military. And did Biden? I don't think Biden's cut the funding to that or got given it, you know, made it go away. I think he's actually increased the funding for it, if I'm not mistaken. Because what's happening is these corporations, whether it's China, you know, people forget China owed a lot of corporations too, not just the U.S. or whatever. But he talked about a lot of philosophy. He mentioned one would be a government attacking themselves, but blaming a terrorist. He said a false flag dealing with a dictator. Oh yeah, well, yeah. There was a guy that came out. I think he was part of the Israeli Space Force, and he said that aliens are here and they're talking to Israeli and United States government officials right now. This
They
is
saying
like not,
that?
yeah, but then everybody just kind of dispelled it or whatever. But this guy was like a head of one of the space programs in Israel. So who knows? Dude worked for the government, bro. Yeah, he was good with it. His main goal was to contact with aliens. Yeah, I believe that. It's funny though how, you know, the U.S. government will go racist against these people, but they invited them all in to work for us. You know what I mean? There's also a theory out there that Germany actually never lost World War II. Like it was this is like crazy rabbit hole shit, but there's a theory that the Nazis actually just became Americans and overtook our government. Which I mean it makes a lot of sense if you really step back and look at the bigger picture of things. You know, especially with all the stuff going on today in the last 30, 40 years, you know.
So where do you see like this Afghanistan shit going, and like will this affect the market?
Like in a bad or good way?
In a bad way.
Well, I think it's bad for the regular investor. I think it's good for Wall Street, because just because we pulled out now doesn't mean this is over. You know what I mean? Like they're already trying to set up for. You see how they say the Taliban's come over, they're taking over so quickly, blah 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 blah. They're trying to convince us to go back and bomb them again. So,
what you saying is bad for the market, but
like if it comes to it depends on what you're investing in. It's like you can't put the market as a whole into this one big thing and say, is it good or bad for the market?
Because there's going to be some places where it's going to be money to be made during this whole situation. Yeah. It's all about knowing where to invest during any situation, to really be honest, I believe.
I mean, you look at stuff like, okay, like I go to Walmart now and it's really hard to get some stuff. Like there's always, the shelves are way emptier than they used to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's, so for the average consumer, yes, it's going to get harder. For the stock market, I don't necessarily think, because the price goes up, their stocks go up, right? So like it depends on what you're in. You know, if you're in something, if you're into making bombs, you might take a dip right now, but as soon as that war, you know, Raytheon and those companies are going to go right back up. You know, Walmart, Amazon, all these retailers they might take a hit right now, but when the more expensive things get, the more their price of stock is going to go up. Because the more the price in the store is going to go up. So the average person is going to hurt more than it is. The stock market always has a way to recover. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, I think there's certain things in the stock market that will get hurt. What they are, I don't know right now, because it's really hard to pick out what in Afghanistan affects here that us being out of there won't drive the price up on more, like oil. You know, like,
so do you see a housing market crash also coming?
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends now, because
and what about like a depression or a recession as far as the economy? Like, do you see all these things happening?
Yeah, invest in whatever Nancy Pelosi invested. Yes,
that's the damn show.
No, that's true. He's right on point with that. As far as the housing crash, like, so it depends on what you call a housing crash, because if you're talking about people losing their homes and stuff like that, yeah, that's probably going to happen. But I don't think that's going to affect the market when you have somebody like BlackRock paying 2 or 3 times the price of a house right now in a lot of areas to buy it up. So I don't know if that'll necessarily.
So why do they want this property so bad?
Because then we become lifetime renters.
So that's what you were saying. So, but we had this conversation before.
Yeah, evictions are coming. So it'll take a dip. Like in the next year, I think it'll go down some, but then it's going to rise right back up when these companies. Because you think BlackRock's the only company out there trying to do this?
So basically, they saying they trying to scoop everything up, and when they get it, they ain't letting it go.
I think there's a place in Nevada right now. The corporation owns a town, like a whole town.
Damn.
So they get to make the rules. They get to make the laws. So, evictions are coming. They keep pushing it off. Yeah, that's coming. And as far as like, what was the other part of depression? Yeah, depression for regular Joes is going to happen, but the stock market people are going to be just fine. The stock market is always fine. Like even when they crash, they get bailed out by the government. Like you can run it. You can
BlackRock sales houses.
They've been buying them up though, from what I understand.
I guess by saying to only sell them. I guess
maybe
not rent them out.
Maybe, but I mean, why would you pay 2 to 3 times the price of a house a lot of times, or 20, even if it's like 20% more? Yeah, but eventually you're going to run out of people that can afford that. I guess it's the same thing as I guess the mortgages get more expensive and the leases get longer.
Oh, he said they rent them also. So okay.
Yeah, but I mean, even if they sell a house, you're not paying cash most of the time for those houses. You're doing them some sort of credit. So
yeah, most definitely.
But
with the credit, once the bank cashed them the check, that's on the bank from there on out to get their bread and shit.
Yeah.
And BlackRock got their money after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll get bailed out
once they sell.
What's that?
Yeah, you're right. I said once they sell, for the ones they sell, they get the check, and it's up to the bank to collect the mortgage. But like you said, if shit did go bad, they would also get bailed out.
Well, I think what they're doing too is they're not dealing, like they have enough money where they can cut the bank out to be the middleman. You can just get your mortgage.
Oh, so you can get the mortgage straight through them?
I think that's what they're angling for eventually.
So it must be some sort of insurance that you get paid. Because I'm wondering, or I guess you just take the house for collateral and then resell that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's all that happens. That's been the game for years. That's why the housing market keeps crashing every 10 years or so. Like it's not like this is the first time the housing market has crashed.
That's true.
And yet the housing market crashed, and some of Wall Street takes a dip for a bit. But when they say the stock market crashes, the stock market actually doesn't crash. It's just certain sectors of the stock market take a huge dip, and then they rebound within a short time. So it's everybody running around with their hair on fire for like a couple months, and then everything settles back out again and goes right back to how it was before.
He said BlackRock's another citadel.
Yeah.
They are a bank.
They are a bank, exactly.
They doing everything in houses and shit.
Yeah.
It's a one-stop shop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're trying to cut out the middleman and just go directly to the consumer, which, I mean, could be good and bad, but I mean, like, if BlackRock owns your whole town, like, is that a good thing in the end? Or, because they'll be able to censor, they'll be able to control the laws, the police are going to work for them, they're not going to work for the government. Not like the police already work for people anyway, but you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what that's exactly what I want to see, man. I want to run these bands up into these M's and then buy some shit, because there ain't no way I would buy no new property right now.
I won't lie.
It's too high.
when I was looking last year, getting in the stock market, and one thing I thought was like everything is going to take a dip soon. In the next year to 5 years, everything like house and market or whatever is going to take a dip. So now's the time to get the money up so I can buy when shit is low.
Exactly.
So like I'm thinking next year is going to be a fire sale for a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So like if
You
I
gonna
get
better
some
get
money up
some shit
now,
at discount prices,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. So and that goes for land too. Like if I say I end up moving back to Bingham or whatever, and we talked about giving housing to people and stuff like that. Now I might be able to buy some land super cheap up there because there's nothing up there, you know.
Oh, you said buy
Raw
raw
land.
land and build your own house. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah, I would do that too. But the plywood, I mean, the cost for wood is out the fucking roof right now. I mean, the cost of a fucking 2x4 quadrupled in the last year. I think it's gone back down some, but it's still that's only going to get worse too.
But I'm wondering, like when everything crashed, I'm sure that's gonna kind of go down too, wouldn't you think? Or maybe not.
That's I don't know. That's a tough one to tell because wood is such a useful thing in so many ways. You know, like
So they can
everybody needs.
always it's damn near like oil or gas, pretty much what you saying. Motherfuckers got to use that regardless what's going on,
Yeah.
which is true.
And how many paper plants are there left in the United States? A lot of them are in China, so they're going to dictate the price to us. A lot of the stuff, and that's the thing. That's the thing. The difference between China and America is like you can say China's a bad country and all that, and you're right. Not like we're any fucking better, but the difference between China is what they're doing is instead of going and bombing people to take over stuff, they're offering them help to build back their infrastructure and stuff, and saying, "Hey, you just got to follow these rules, and we'll give you this money." And that's what they're doing. That's what they've done it in a lot of countries now. We're in the U.S. We're like, we're going to help you bring democracy to you. We're going to bring our military there.
So
You know what I
basically,
mean?
we trying to get into their inner workings, and they just hand you the bread. It's like, so what you kind of saying? It's better for another country to do business with China versus us.
Yeah. Right now, yeah. I mean,
And
number
that's
one,
gonna make China so much stronger because they're offering a better deal. Pretty much is
yeah.
what you're saying.
And we gave them that. We gave them that when we sent all our production factories to China. That we gave them. They were a shit country before we moved all our production plants over there, and now they've been able to build their infrastructure.
They
They've
got
been able to build
smart.
capital. They got a ton of money. They got a lot more people than we too. By the way, you know what I mean? Like there's like 5 billion people in China. What is it, like 335 million in America? 500 million? Like,
Damn.
you know,
There's
so
that many
like
more people there than here?
yeah, dude. These countries in like Europe and China, a lot of these countries, like what was it, India? India's like up over a billion people, I believe. You know what I mean? Like some of these countries roll deep, man. So we gave them a bunch of money, made cheap labor off it. Well, now they're raising the prices on everything. You know what I mean? Like, and they have and what are we going to do? Because we're in debt to them. But that's why I say they use our money though, because we're in debt so much to them. It's almost better that they use our money throughout the world.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
And
the
they
world's
making more
changing.
power moves, aligning themselves with other people.
Yeah, and we just keep pissing people off saying we're going to move military in. Like Cuba, we've had restrictions on Cuba for fucking all my life, right? Basically, we've had restrictions on Cuba, and now that Fidel Castro has died, there's all this talk about moving into Cuba with the military. Where China is like, we'll just fucking buy. And now, like, look, what you guys were saying, what Marco was saying last time we talked about Afghanistan is Taliban ran them up out of there, right? Is like his theory on it is like it wasn't that we're pulling out, is that Taliban run up out there. Well, if that China has
Because he
Taliban's
said China was backing, his thing is China is backing. So that's another thing where China done put themselves into play again.
yeah.
And he said China told Taiwan, I guess we got some kind of business with them that we can't keep them safe. So it seemed like they trying to attack us and take us up out of everything that we had our hand in. It seemed like,
I mean that's what's happening. And so what's going to end up happening, I believe, in the next 5 to 10 years is that instead, like, US might be stupid and drop a bomb on China. I don't know. I would hope that they don't, but they might. The thing is if they do that, we've already pissed off most of the world. We only have very few allies left. And they could do to us what we've done to other countries and put restrictions on our trading, put restrictions on this, put restrictions on that. And then we're owned by them, which we already basically are owned by them in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, so, and they feel, as much as like, I don't like the Russian troll farms and stuff like that, but the Chinese don't have troll farms. What they have is advertising. They have corporate synergy because a lot of these corporations come from China. So like NBA, so you saw what happened when the guy from Houston, the general manager said something about the NBA, said something about China. What did NBA do? They fucking bowed down to China because that's where most of their money comes from China now.
Damn.
So like,
so China a big dog out this motherfucker pretty much.
Like, I mean, how many things do you think they're invested in our country? And like, when the pandemic first happened, there was worry we wouldn't get our medicine because we don't produce many medicines over here anymore. They're produced all over in China. So they own the medicine, they own the media, they own the corporations, they own a lot of stuff, and not all of it, but enough of it to make a difference. You know,
and a lot of this tech shit we using is being made over there too.
Yeah, in Japan too. Yeah,
all that shit, man.
I mean, we have Japan, but like Japan has no fucking military, and they're not really loyal to us. I don't believe.
Yeah, we go check this motherfucker out too, man.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, it's been a long one, y'all. We out, man.
All right, man. Hey, good talking to you guys.
Yep.
I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.